if you haven't been around a manufactured home in a while, then use this watered down version of what a manufactured home looks like as if we cut it in half. You're going to notice the simple basic house shape on top of a chassis. And this metal chassis, it could have a floor joist with the heating duct, but the important thing to note is that there's insulation underneath the chassis, and then underneath that there's the space of air. And that's because this whole home is being held up by either concrete blocks or block pillars or wooden pillar or a jack of some sort, whatever your city, county, or state has deemed where a mobile home can sit and rest and live. You also have anchors, of course, for safety precautions. And also what you notice underneath the home in this space of air, protecting from animals from getting underneath the home or chewing the pipes or the tubing that's underneath the home, but still giving airflow to underneath the home so that mold can't grow, is what's called skirting. All right. On the exterior of a manufactured home, above the skirting, which you can see right down here as white in this bottom middle picture, this is what's called skirting. Up top of it, we have the most popular type of siding, which is called vinyl siding. You're going to run into vinyl siding in most manufactured homes that you deal with. If it's not vinyl siding, it's another type that we're going to get to, but it comes in all different sizes, and it is laid horizontally, as you can see by this gentleman here, laying slats from bottom to top, and they just slide in interlocking channels as a top and bottom channel, and it's relatively simple and relatively inexpensive. And there's hundreds of varieties to choose from, and again, they lay horizontally. The other popular type that isn't so popular anymore, it's kind of old-fashioned, and newer manufactured homes have vinyl siding or other types of siding to choose from, but aluminum panels typically have gone the way of the dinosaur. And older manufactured homes and older mobile homes, you'll notice aluminum panels are a lot more prevalent. Now, vinyl siding on an old aluminum panel mobile home, you can just put the vinyl siding, you can screw it right on top of the aluminum panels. That's how easy it is to install. Now here's some pictures of both. On the top left hand, you see that part of the home is actually aluminum panels, and then the newer obvious add-on is all vinyl sided. And here's a before or after picture. Some parks are requiring that mobile homes that don't have vinyl siding, that have these aluminum panels, turn from the aluminum panels to vinyl siding once repurchased. So some parks are mandating that. We'll go more into that, but you can tell why, because the older aluminum panels look so beaten up and run down and old, and this new vinyl siding really mimics houses of the 21st century, even though this home is probably a 1960. Other exteriors are faux log frame finishes. They're horizontal and vertical wood panels. As you can see, this green one is here. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is actually painted wood running in vertical channels. Down here you have aluminum panels, bottom left, that are painted to look like wood. And in this manufactured home, this is anyone's guess. There's stones and and actual logs. So this is probably a faux log cabin finish made with real wood. And that's the newer styles of the homes. Here's a cool trick. Curved or flat roofs were built before 1982. And pitched roofs with a point were built after 1982. This is a nice little trick just to know when you're driving through a manufactured home community kind of what the ages of the homes are. Okay, you can also notice that the skirting here on this blue home is just lattice. Now, some parks may allow this, some parks won't. Obviously, this lattice is super cheap at Home Depot. Skirting would be a little bit more. Another thing to notice, besides the curved roof here and then the pointed or pitched roof here, is that to notice that on both of these older style homes, there's no overhang or there's no gutters. Now there's something that you can add to your roof to give it a second life, and also some gutters. You can add gutters to any home. And what gutters will do will protect from any water hitting the roof just running right down over all of this nice white vinyl siding. Okay, so really quickly just notice that there's no gutters, what type of skirting the home has, and then also if it's vinyl sided, which this home is to the right, and aluminum sided, which this home is to the left. Okay, moving on from the siding and moving up to the roof, you'll notice a gentleman painting what seems to be a white paint on top of his manufactured home roof, his flat roof. What this does The roof is what's going to keep in or let out a lot of your heating bill. Okay, so what you can do yearly, and this is a tip for all of your buyers, is to once a year put on a 60-gallon bucket or a 5-gallon bucket worth about $60 of a product called either Cool Seal or some sort of insulating paint that's rolled onto the roof of a manufactured home or any home to keep the cooling bill down or the heating bill down. Also, what you can do with the rest of these three other pictures that you see is what's called a roof over or a second roof. This will add that overhang that a lot of manufacturers' homes that were built 20 years back, they don't have. So you can see this overhang now and more insulation added to your manufactured home with that didn't have a lip before or any sort of gutter. I've never ever had to put on a second roof because we don't buy homes that need roof repairs. Okay? So some of the homes that we've purchased have had roof overs on them. But because we aren't buying junky homes, we usually never have to worry about this. But just to be aware, roof overs are basically second roofs. They add, they extend from the home. You can see in this top example, they have no eave or overhang, and now there's a big eave and overhang along the whole home. You can see this gentleman putting in these panels, and you can see an example of these panels here with insulation underneath. Protects against any dings from hail, acorns, or pinhole pricks that may have been put into the roof of the home, letting in water. All those problems stop with a roof over. Now, this can be costly, especially when if you're buying a home for a couple $1,000s. This can be a costly expense. So we need to know about this, that this is an option, and that it may have already been done to the home. Okay, if it has been done to the home, great. If it hasn't, then we need to be aware that it's the original roof, and there may be problems, especially if it's an older model mobile home or manufactured home like these ones here. These are both the original roof. Okay, and roofs can be shingled, they can be aluminum, they can be metal or vinyl siding, they can be any number of roofs or coatings on the top, but to be aware if it's the original roof or the second roof and how well it's been maintained.